At the time of Richard Nixon's vice presidency, the official musical honors for a vice president were 4 ruffles and flourishes and an appropriate musical selection of choice. Lieutenant Colonel Mitchell talked about this in his 2006 interview and said the following: "You wouldn't believe what some band directors considered inappropriate tune. So Bram Smith and I, along with some members of the United States Army Herald Trumpets, got together and said, something's got to be done for the vice president, something with more dignity. So we did some research, and we found out that Hail Columbia was a good, solid American tune with good history, and it used to be played unofficially for the president. It couldn't be longer than Hail to the Chief, but it should be longer than the General's March. So we condensed Hail Columbia to fit that pattern." The first time Vice President Nixon heard that version of Hail Columbia was at the official departure ceremony for French President Charles de Gaulle. Following that ceremony, the Vice President sent a letter to the Army Band, and in it said the following: "I want to tell you how very thrilled Mrs. Nixon and I were by the salute played on the Herald Trumpets yesterday. I hope the Herald Trumpets will now become a standard part of the ceremonies when we welcome distinguished visitors to this country. It adds tremendously in color, drama, and good music to such occasions." Lieutenant Colonel Mitchell recounted the French president's arrival and departure ceremonies by saying this: "When de Gaulle arrived, Eisenhower came out to the airport to meet him. When Eisenhower stepped out of his car, we played 4 ruffles and flourishes and Hail to the Chief, and he gave me the biggest grin as he went by. And for the first time in their history, the Marine Band stood silently while someone else played for the president. Boy, they did not take that lightly." When Gaulle departed, the vice presidents hosted the ceremony, and we played 4 ruffles and flourishes and our new arrangement of Hail Columbia. Pat Nixon, the vice president's wife, ran over to me and asked, "What was that wonderful music that you played for my husband?" I said, "I happen to have a condensed score in my pocket," and I gave it to Mrs. Nixon. 5 years later, in 1965, Vice President Hubert Humphrey signed an order making it the official honors for all sitting vice presidents. And now, please enjoy 4 ruffles and flourishes and the official version of the Vice Presidential Honors March, Hail Columbia.